मैं कहीं भी. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, welcome to another session of lessons from my mother. Big 7-0. We've hit the 70 mark. I'm quite happy. I've covered 67 of my mother's lessons, and I think I've interviewed 3 friends, Balu, Joe, and Reem. And hopefully, starting this month, I will also be interviewing more. Well, this month is almost half gone, but I'll be interviewing more friends now about their mums as well, so we can have an even 100. Today's lesson will be done in a bit of a rush because it isn't it it's pretty self-explanatory, but for some reason we kind of shy away from it, and that is no water after food. Now, I know people who have some knowledge of nutrition would say, "Pfft, that's self-evident. Everyone knows that. I know everyone knows that it's bad to drink water right after your food." Yet, if you look at the large population of people, most of them are doing this. I still do it at times, and then I have to, oh yeah, I shouldn't be drinking this. The thing is, you're served a meal on a plate or a tray or whatever, you're served a meal and you're served a drink with it. And because you go there for the meal, not the drink, you end up focusing more on the food and drink a little when it's either spicy or it's dry or whatever. You don't say, "Oh, I've had this big gulp and I'm going to have this." Okay, we don't mix and match. And more often than not, it just so happens that you are done with the meal and the drink is still there's a quarter or a half still left. So I didn't even finish my Coke, iced tea, lassi, whatever, sparkling water, or alcoholic beverages. I didn't even touch. Oh, now I'll quickly gulp it down right after. There's no. Well, I've eaten. I still have a quarter of my drink left, but I'll wait 15 minutes because it's bad for me. We don't do that. If you go to any fast food, take McDonald's for example, you get a burger and you get a pack of fries, and then you get this gigantic glass of a drink. And they say, "Oh, would you like to upsize? It's only 70 cents more, only 30p more." And you're like, well, go on. Okay, fine. And you end up with this gigantic glass of a soft drink, more often than not, and you finish your burger, which is why you're going to McDonald's. You're not mostly going just for the drink. Some people have a milkshake. Mostly, you're going there to eat, and you have your burger, and you have fries with the burger, and you take sips of your drink. That I've noticed it's common practice. Nobody says, "Oh, one bite of burger, one gulp of the drink." People don't do that. I've observed, I've read on it because my mother has this lesson. While eating, most people don't gulp down their drink. They sip it, which is great practice. It lubricates. You get to enjoy the drink. It's great practice. But all of us, if not all, I would say over 95% of us, finish the meal, whether it's a burger or it's a steak or whatever, and then you say, "Oh, let me finish my drink too." If you're in Pakistan, I or India or South Asia, all parts of the Middle East, I would introduce you to this wonderful yogurt slash milk dairy based drink we have. In Pakistan and India, we call it lassi. In Turkey, we'll call it ayran. In parts of the Middle East, it's called lebne, I think. I was at an Iranian restaurant on Saturday. I forget what it's called. Um, Duk, I think. Duk. Um, and it's this yogurt, water, sometimes milk, sometimes sugar based drink, sometimes salty, and you drink it with your food. Um, and I've noticed in Pakistan, if you're eating something spicy or something, you have bits of it, and everybody at the end is say, "Oh, let's finish our lassi." And it's typically served in a gigantic steel glass. Nobody says, "Oh, let's have the lassi first and we'll eat," because they say, "No, we're here to eat the food. The drink is secondary." My mum, as a histopathologist, as a medical doctor, as an MPhil PhD, as a very, very qualified medical professional, very qualified, God bless her, um, very qualified medical professional, my mum has always counseled us against this. After you eat, You don't just say, "Well, I finished my plate. Now let me finish my glass." And she's always said this is very, very bad habit. This is very bad behavior. And we'd say, "Why? Oh no, but it's spicy. My mouth's dry, whatever." And she said, "If you're going to drink, wait 15 minutes for the food to digest." And we say, "Yeah, but inside there are juices or whatever." And she, when we were young, when we were learning biology, we would push back against it. And she'd say, just come on, man. I'm a histopathologist. Come on, dude. Um, but as we grew older, she explained the biology to us. I can't remember all of it. I'll be the first to say I can't remember the details of the words of or which enzymes she talked about. But the consensus was you're not supposed to do that. Then you see all these fitness professionals, nutrition experts, chefs, bodybuilders, athletes say the exact same thing. Oh yeah, no, no, I don't drink after I eat. I spend this much time. Oh, I don't smoke. Oh, I don't drink alcohol. Oh, I don't eat after 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Oh, I don't. I tend to have a high protein, mid fat, small or low carb diet. Oh, I do this. I do, and everything my mom's been saying regarding diet turns out not only to be good for us, but optimal in terms of athletic ability or digestion or so forth. She's never been one to say, well, don't eat any carbs ever. If you see a plate of pasta, chuck it out of the window. She's not been that person. But she's always talked about moderation, everything in moderation, whether it's sweet or spice or your portion or the amount or the number of times and so forth. And always to understand, well, if you're eating, don't follow it up with a big gulp. Give it 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then take your drink. And don't gulp it down like you're a hungry wolf. Give it some time. Give it some time. And then I wish you were here right now, or I was in England, and I'd ask her to say, what is the detail of the peristaltic movement which you explained to us? And she's explained it to us in great detail. And it's really bad. My point here is I still do it. Yesterday, I was at Dunn's Famous. A friend of mine and I went on a very long bike ride. I was at Dunn's Famous, which is a lovely smoked meat place. We had a lovely dinner, and I had an iced tea. And while eating it, I took a bit of my iced tea. Once I was done with my plate, that's when I said, "Oh, that was lovely." And after I did, I was like, oh, I'm not supposed to do this. How do I still forget it? And my larger point here, I mean, obviously my mum's lesson is correct. There's no doubt. You can ask any medical or fitness or nutrition professional. All of them will swear by this lesson. My point is more towards A, the consumer, us, and B, towards the institutions or organizations which have made it a habit of providing drink with the food and pushing drink on with the food. So, for example, I said, I'll have this, I can't remember the name, I'll have this smoked meat plate. And would you like anything to drink? And I was like, and I said, do you prefer alcoholic, non? I was like, non-alcoholic. And they said, well, we have this. I was like, sure, I'll have some iced tea. And my friend was like, I'll have Diet Coke. If the person had said, it's better not to drink something with this food, we'd be like, okay. I know you're supposed to make a $3 worth of sale, but what about the impact on my body? It's a whole different impact, right? So the institutions, I remember Matt Damon, the actor, was part of this campaign a couple of years ago where people would go to a restaurant and say, this in America, hi, can I have a coffee and water? And then start off like that. Yes, my American accent is brilliant. So they start off with, can I have a coffee and water? And the waiter would say, sorry, we don't have any water. What do you mean you don't have any water? And they'd say, sorry, we don't have water. And then Matt Damon would pop up on the screen. Well, we're not conserving water and whatever. And it shook people a little But that whole movement kind of died down. You don't hear about it anymore because people are not really interested in preserving their water or their health because it goes against the corporate consumer interests. Fair enough. I understand the market forces at play here, but I don't want those market forces to affect my physiology and my long-term physical condition. So every time we order at home when I'm in England, or every time we go somewhere, we order food and then we're like, yeah, I'll have a Sprite. Oh, you have? Oh, I'll have a Coke. And my mom was like, no, no, I'm good. You can get me an orange juice on the ride back because by that time, 20 minutes would have passed while I've digested my food. My body has absorbed all the nutrients, not all of them, but a large portion of it. And then there's going to be reabsorption later. And then I can enjoy a few sips of drink. By the time I get home, I can enjoy my drink without it having any negative effects on me. And she's been practicing that. And my point here with this lesson is to somehow remind myself that this is something that has to be remembered. And even as recent as yesterday, I made the same mistake. After I drank it, I was like, every time. Oh, every time. And if you go to McDonald's, people are dipping their fries in their milkshake and they eat their fries and then they gulp their milkshake right after. It's no wonder North America is the most obese nation in the world. Set of nations, sorry, pardon my geography. And it's probably in one of its worst physical conditions that it has ever been, right? So I would this lesson is less so for the nutrition experts. It's more so for me and for everyone who tends to enjoy water or drink right after their food because we gulp it down, because it's right there. It's more for the institutions and organizations and to tell them, look, why didn't you stop? You're just going to, it's a couple of dollars. I understand that. And you can add a bit of tax to it and whatever. But perhaps if the waiter said to me, this is what I'm saying. If the waiter said to me, would you like a drink with that? And I said, yeah, sure, I'll have an iced tea. And they said, so may I recommend you have this smoked meat plate, you really enjoy it, and 10 minutes after that, I'll bring you your iced tea. Because that way you will really enjoy it. Otherwise, if you want it, I can bring it now. But my recommendation would be I'd bring it 10 minutes later because it's good for you and whatever. And I'd say, sure. What a lovely waiter or waitress. They care about their customers so much. Still making the sale. In that regard, even the timing might be, they wouldn't have to turn the tables all the time because the time I spend digesting and just talking, yeah, this is great food. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just going to wait for my drink. Like we do for our desserts. I'm just going to wait for my drink. And then the drink show, thanks so much. Then I can drink it and the digestion is fine. I'm not telling the organizations to stop selling. You're designed to sell. You're corporate. It's capitalism. I understand that. What if it was tempered with an understanding of the human body? I can make the same argument for the environment, for example. We don't have plastic straws anymore, right? We don't have plastic bags anymore, right? When we go to the store, at least in North America and England. But all your fruits are in plastic bags when they're on display. All your crisps are in plastic bags. Everything that is on display is in plastic. But we're supposed to bear the responsibility of not having plastic. So if you're going to help the environment, try thinking of helping the people first and try taking responsibility first. You know what I mean? You can still make the sale. You can still achieve your capitalistic purpose. But perhaps you can think, oh, you know what? Maybe I can include human benefit in my equation and try to figure out solutions where we don't lose financially, but we better people too. This example that I've given you, you're not even losing time because if we have a drink, we end up drinking it for 10, 15 minutes anyway. But you bring us the drink 10, 15 minutes later. and we'd thoroughly enjoy it. Something to think about because when I was at Oxford, we used to have all these formal dinners, and there would be multiple courses, obviously. And I didn't drink alcohol, but friends of mine would start with white, then red, and then port. And there was always, oh, we're drinking with food is just normal. And then after that, you have port, and then some people have more. And it was just their practice. But the negative side effect it has on the body is unprecedented, and we don't really pay any attention to it. And we really should. So I think if even at places like Oxford, they would say, here are the drinks. I understand that this is tradition, but not all traditions need to be carried forward, especially if they're bad for the human being or for society or the environment. Otherwise, why the green movement or climate change? I understand it's tradition, but it's better if we enjoy our drinks before we enjoy our meal. Let's enjoy our drinks. Cheers to the universities, blah, blah, blah. Done. And then you enjoy your meal. And after that, you say, let's wait a few minutes, let's talk to each other, and then we can bring out the drinks with the dessert or something. Something like that. I honestly think the adjustments aren't that gigantic. It is more here. We have to make the change here. And as recent as yesterday, I need to make the change even more because I know my mum's right. I know what she's saying is correct. I just forget to do it, and the organization is part of the problem. It's not part of the solution. But anyway, I'm going to stop here. Something for all of us to think about. No water after food, and water is emblematic of all drink, and food is emblematic of all food. These are just the generalities. Have a wonderful